Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm your host, Nina.
Hello, everybody. I am your host, Shane. And today we are talking about all kinds of jobs.
Ooh.
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about career fairs. And career is just like another word for job, right? Usually careers are something that you're going to do for a long time.
Yes.
And jobs seem like they're for a shorter amount of time.
Usually, that's right.
You can call it a career fair or a job fair. So what they'll do is they will have many companies come to either like a high school or maybe a college or university, and they will talk with the students and maybe give them a brochure or some paper that they can get some information.
Yes.
Sometimes they will even give you an interview right there.
Oh, that's cool. So actually, it's a good opportunity for students to kind of figure out what direction they want to go into, right?
That's the point. There's lots of different ones to choose from. And what they're trying to do is attract these students, and maybe the students go there and see something that's interesting, something that has maybe good pay or good benefits, or they are studying in that area and they want to take part in it, and it's a good way to get in the door of a new company.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like it's very beneficial for both sides. And did you ever go to a job fair?
I don't think I ever did go to. I went through one very quickly just to take a quick look.
Okay.
But I didn't do anything like interview or anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, why don't we jump into this? All kinds of jobs, part A.
Okay.
Amber and Travis are at their school's career fair.
I didn't know you wanted to fight fires for a living.
I thought I did. However, the firefighters said the gear they wear weighs up to 75 pounds.
Okay, so today we're doing part A of all kinds of jobs.
That's right. Okay, so this is a dialogue between Amber and Travis. Amber and Travis are at their school's career fair. So we already discussed a little bit in the intro what a career fair is. So you can imagine it even like a career fair is like a party. Where grown-ups share about their jobs and you learn what you might like to do when you grow up, right? So, or maybe you already are grown up and you're ready to start working.
Yeah.
And that's what we would call a career fair.
Yeah, or a job fair.
Right.
Okay, so I will be Amber.
Makes sense. I will be Travis.
Okay. Amber says, I didn't know you wanted to fight fires for a living.
Oh.
Okay, so she's probably talking to Travis, and she learned that he wants to fight fires.
So he wants to be a firefighter.
Exactly. A firefighter. Sounds dangerous, but
very dangerous. But also could be quite exciting.
Yeah, and you have to be very brave.
Yeah.
So he wants to do this for a living. When you do something for a living, it means to do something as a job. So you make money from that job so that you can live, right?
So you can live, you can pay for things
like
food and a house and your bills that you need to pay. Right.
So for example, he sings for a living. So in this case, he is a singer.
A singer, right.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看一下单字的部分。Career fair 就业博览会。Sarah went to a career fair to look for a job. Sarah 去了就业博览会找工作。我们再来看一下文法重点。刚刚对话提到了动词加上 for a living， 以做某事为生为业。Living 在这里指的是生计，惯用单数哦。课文中的 fight fires 来表示消防工作救火。我们来看看这个例句。Nina writes stories for a living. Nina 靠写故事为生。接着我们回到课文当中。
Okay, so now Travis says, I thought I did. However, the firefighters said the gear they wear weighs up to 75 pounds.
Wow.
Now, gear just means all of the things that you need to wear. You can imagine a firefighter, he has to wear lots of heavy clothes and maybe
The
tools,
things to fight the fire.
helmets, things to fight the fire. So that kind of gear can weigh a lot. So in this case, 75 pounds. That's how much it weighs. Now, to weigh means to measure the weight of something by using a scale, right? So a scale is something you can imagine that, like, for example, you or I might wonder, how have I got fat lately? And we will stand on a scale and we will look at the number and be like, oh no.
Yeah.
I need to go on a diet.
So I have a scale in my room to weigh myself every day.
Okay, so another example could be the grocer weighed the cheese.
Okay.
So you go to a supermarket and you want half a kilogram of cheese. That's a lot of cheese, right?
It is a lot of cheese.
And the grocer can cut it and weigh it for you, right?
Okay, so pounds in this case is a unit of weight. So we have pounds and we have kilograms, right?
Right, exactly.
There are many units.
Right, so a pound, so about how many kilograms is 1 pound?
Roughly 0.45.
Okay,
Yeah.
so almost like half, kind of, you can think of it
Yeah,
that
almost
way.
half,
So if something is 1 kilogram, it will be about 2 pounds. A
roughly.
little bit over 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Got it.
So for example, the baby weighs 8 pounds.
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字 weigh 动词重达 The box weighs 5 pounds 这个箱子重5磅 pound 名词磅 This bag of rice weighs 10 pounds 这袋米重10磅接着我们回到课文当中
Okay, so we know he wants to be a firefighter, but maybe,
He's not sure after he learned.
he learns how much heavy equipment he has to wear. But that's a good thing why you go to these career fairs is you can find out more about maybe the industry or the company or the kind of work that you want to do and get more information that maybe you might think, oh, maybe that's not the right job for me.
Exactly. So now he's learned something about being a firefighter. Let's see if he decides he still wants to do it.
Okay. All right, let's take a short break.
Okay.
That's too much for your skinny body. Maybe you should look into becoming an engineer or scientist like me.
Thanks. But I'm horrible at math and biology.
Hey, you know a lot about food. Maybe you can be a chef.
I do love working with food.
I'll say. Your potato dishes are also yummy.
Really? That means a lot to me.
Okay, welcome back. So before the break, we learned that Travis is or was interested in fighting fires, being a firefighter. But when he found out how much the gear that he has to wear weighs, like 75 pounds, he decided, maybe that's a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
He seems a bit hesitant now.
Let's see. Okay. So Amber says, that's too much for your skinny body.
Okay, so he's skinny. he's not a big guy. Okay, so maybe he only weighs 120 pounds and the gear will weigh 75 pounds. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so she says, maybe you should look into becoming an engineer or scientist like me.
Okay, so we know that Travis is pretty skinny.
Yes.
So to be skinny, that's an adjective. It just means very thin and bony. You don't see much fat or maybe not even a lot of muscle. It's just like skin and bones.
Oh, dear. I used to be called skinny. I don't know if I'm skinny anymore.
I'm not exactly skinny either. So for example, you could say he became quite skinny while he was ill.
Okay.
That would be a bad time to get skinny, right?
Okay, so he's skinny. That's why she's suggesting that he could look into becoming a scientist or engineer, like what she wants to do. So when you look into something or look into doing something, it means to check or research on something, right? So you learn more about it.
Okay.
So for example, I will look into joining a gym.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So in this case, I will look maybe how much it would be, where to go, things like that.
What the environment is like,
exactly.
And then we could get skinnier. I'll join you at the gym.
Everybody wants to get skinny.
Okay, so Travis then says, thanks, but I'm horrible at math and biology.
Oh yeah, you need those things to become a scientist or an engineer.
They're both very important, right? So biology is the science that studies the growth and life processes of living things. So for example, you could say the gift of a microscope helped expand her interest in biology.
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字 skinny 形容词骨瘦如柴的 The cat looks very skinny 那只猫看起来很瘦 biology 名词生物学 Steve is interested in biology and hopes to become a scientist Steve 对生物学感兴趣并希望成为一名科学家文法的部分刚刚提到了 look into 加上动词 ing 研究做某事的资讯我们来看看这个例句 They are looking into starting a new business 他们正在研究创业的资讯接着我们回到课文当中
Okay, and so Amber says, hey, you know a lot about food. Maybe you can be a chef.
Oh, okay. So Tim says, I do love working with food.
Yeah.
So if you cook things, you could say working with food. It just means, not like you and the food are working together, but working with food means cooking, basically.
Yeah. I'll say, your potato dishes are all so yummy. So when you say I'll say, it's kind of like, oh, I agree with you, right? Okay, so his potato dishes. Potato is a round vegetable with brown skin. You can make one of my favorite foods with it, which is French fries.
French fries,
yes, of course. Okay, for example, she made mashed potatoes for dinner.
I love mashed potatoes too.
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字 potato 名词马铃薯 Ivy baked a potato for dinner. Ivy 烤了一颗马铃薯当晚餐。文法的部分刚刚提到了 I'll say 没错的确如此这是一个口语的固定用法我们来看看这个对话 This movie is amazing 这部电影太棒了 I'll say it's one of the best I've ever seen 的确如此它是我看过最棒的电影之一Amazing 在这里指的是令人惊艳的。接着我们回到课文当中。
So Travis says, really? That means a lot to me.
Oh, okay. So he likes hearing that he is good at making his potato dishes,
Yeah,
right?
that she likes it and thinks that he is a good cook.
Ooh.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for part A, but you will definitely join us in part B, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
we'll see you then.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Amber and Travis are at their school's career fair.
I didn't know you wanted to fight fires for a living.
I thought I did. However, the firefighters said the gear they wear weighs up to 75 pounds.
That's too much for your skinny body. Maybe you should look into becoming an engineer or scientist like me.
Thanks. But I'm horrible at math and biology.
Hey, you know a lot about food. Maybe you can be a chef.
I do love working with food.
I'll say. Your potato dishes are also yummy.
Really? That means a lot to me.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 ，career fair 就业博览会 ，weigh 动词重达 ，pound 名词磅 ，skinny 形容词骨瘦如柴的 ，biology 名词生物学 ，potato 名词马铃薯。接着我们来看看文法的部分，动词加上 for a living， 以做什么事为生为业。Adam used to teach at a cram school for a living. Adam 之前是补习班老师。Look into 加上动词 ing， 研究做某事的资讯。We are looking into cutting costs. 我们正在研究降低成本的方法。I'll say 没错，的确如此。That last action scene was exciting. 最后那部动作场景太刺激了。I'll say I almost jumped out of my seat. 确实如此，我差点从座位上跳起来呢。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一次再见喽，拜拜。
Oh, oysters, the love of my life. If you're like me and are a fan of the scrumptious taste of oysters, then today's location is one that cannot be missed. The township of Fangyuan is located near the western coast of Zhanghua. It is famous for its oyster culture. Locals used to farm oysters with the help of buffaloes, making Fangyuan known for its sea buffalo culture. Today, buffaloes have mostly been replaced by trucks. However, tourists can still enjoy riding to the intertidal zones on the buffalo-drawn carts and try their hands at oyster picking. Fangyuan is also a popular spot for ecotourism. Its intertidal zones are darker than a typical beach because mud from the rivers mixes with the ocean sand. This effect creates a unique black sand landscape. The zones are also rich in organic materials. This means it's easy for animals to find food, so many animal species thrive. A number of creatures, including fish, shrimp, shellfish, and crabs can be found. Visitors who go on oyster picking tours can explore the vast landscape along with the local wildlife. Fangyuan Township is an excellent destination to learn about local culture while witnessing the beauty of a thriving ecosystem. When we say thriving ecosystem, what do we mean? To thrive means to grow strongly and vigorously, and an ecosystem is a community of organisms and their physical environment interacting together, which means that the ecosystem that grows in Fangyuan is growing very well, which also means it's probably got amazing oysters. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. I think I'm gonna go directly to Fangyuan now to get myself some oysters. See ya.